I think we might have a new survey that is popping up on the main menu of the game now. You guys will have to let me know if you guys have also received this survey, because I've checked, it's not in my game, and I think it's only being pushed to a small number of simmers. But Twitter user FableSimmer actually posted a player satisfaction question that was displayed to them on the main menu of their game, asking, when playing The Sims 4, how happy are you with the current new game flow? Create a sim, pick a lot and build, and live mode. So I guess they're possibly considering changing or modifying the way that the game launches and what modes you're presented with when you first load it up. Honestly, I feel like this is something that should have changed a while ago, because in my personal opinion, I don't like how when you start a new game, it instantly forces you into Create a Sim. Number one, not everyone likes Create a Sim, and number two, not everyone even uses Create a Sim. Some simmers just like to load straight into the world, go on the gallery, download something that another simmer has created, or possibly just plop down something they've already created themselves before and jump straight into the game. This is just my opinion, and I feel like everyone's going to have a different process on how they prefer to play their game, but me personally, I would rather it just load into the map screen where you select a world to start in, and then from that point you can either load into a pre-made, or you can jump into cast, or go on the gallery. I hate how it forces you into Create a Sim every single time you start a new save file. I also think another really good option would be to at least have like 3 different buttons the second you hit start new game, where it says, would you like to go into Create a Sim? Would you like to select a world, or would you like to go onto the gallery? I think that's a really good starting point, instead of just forcing every single simmer directly into Create a Sim, and then there's no way to get out of it basically without forcing yourself to create a sim. Sometimes if I just want to dive into a lot, I'll just randomize a sim, randomize a name, randomize some traits and an aspiration, and then basically click accept just so I can get through the create a sim process. And I feel like simmers shouldn't have to do that. Now, here's the thing about this survey. I find it interesting that they're asking this, because this is something that apparently they have asked us before several years ago, and Somatically quotes this. They literally said they would allow us to go directly into the world selection like 5 years ago and nothing happened. So it's quite interesting how they're asking this question again. So maybe they're looking into changing it yet once again. I don't know if anything is going to happen. I guess it depends on the response that they get. Of course, I don't know how many simmers are receiving this survey either. If you guys have seen this in your games on your main menu, let me know. Honestly, I don't think a lot of you probably will, because this is the first and only post that I've seen about this. So I think it's only being pushed to a small number of simmers, at least at the moment. Hopefully they publish a public survey that everyone can vote on, because I think this is something that everyone should have the opportunity to weigh in on, you know? Honestly, even just 2 buttons would be sufficient. Create a sim and manage worlds. And you know, if you click manage worlds, you're clearly gonna have the option to go onto the gallery, because the gallery is available right there in manage worlds. So that's really all that you need, honestly. Or even if they don't provide that, the least they could do if they do force you into Create a Sim is at least have a button in the corner that says skip Create a Sim, and then it just completely bypasses it, so you don't have to constantly create random sims or load sims into cast from the gallery just to bypass that mode, you know? Of course, nothing is confirmed. I just figured I would let you guys know that it seems like they're pushing a survey for some people. If you have this survey, if you've received it, please let me know. I'm curious to see how many of you guys have gotten this in your game. I definitely think that having an option is going to be more favorable for all players. There are some players that just load up The Sims 4 to build, and we know that a lot of the packs, especially the kits, do focus on building. Like, building is a big part of The Sims. I feel like more people might be interested in building now than doing other things. Maybe not most, but I feel like a large chunk of simmers just like playing the game to build. So having that option would be great. That's all from me. Thank you guys so much for clicking and watching. And of course, if there's any updates, if they post a public survey, I will for sure update you guys to let you know how to submit your responses. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and happy life simming.